Hi everybody, it's me, Willow, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back with another film review from the Toronto International Film Festival. I was there for the entire duration of the festival and had an amazing time seeing up to 30 films. Yes, I did it, guys. 30 films in 10 days. So today I have If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And I think this was a fantastic film. I've been waiting since January to see this one when it came out at Sundance. And then also in February, it went to Berlin, and Rose Byrne won the Silver Bear for acting. And I thought, oh, I can't wait for this one. It's going to be hopefully a better Night Bitch because I was not a big fan of Night Bitch. I thought it was very surface level, that film. I want it to get a little bit more surreal. And unfortunately, that would be one of my complaints with this one was that I felt like it was going surreal, but it could have pushed just a bit more and it kind of dived a bit more into that surrealness. So, overall, I do think this was a solid film, one of my favorites of the festivals. It was also one of the last ones I saw. I think I saw it on the Friday night, and I got to see it with my friend, so that was amazing. And I had a great time. I almost was afraid I wouldn't get in, but we rushed it and we were able to see it. I was in the balcony, and then Rose Byrne did a Q&A at the end, so it was amazing to hear from her because I really do think it's a strong, solid performance from her that I think once people more get the opportunity to see it in, I believe it's coming out late October, early November, people are going to be like, okay, I understand why people are saying awards. I think she's going to get her nominations. I definitely think maybe at the Gotham Awards because this is A24, so I do think this would still count for the Gotham Awards, right? And I would think hopefully like Critics' Choice maybe, and I would definitely think Golden Globes in that sixth spot. Like, come on. I really do think this is a strong performance. There's also strong performances from ASAP Rocky and Conan O'Brien. Both of them give very different but distinct performances, and I know ASAP is still very familiar to acting, and same with Conan, even though Conan does have I think he has like a film or like musical theater, like performing arts background. Um, but doing like the talk show and comedy is very different from this more like solid, like what's it called, like serious humor, stoic humor. I think Coney does a great job, and I think ASAP really does stand out. I still have yet to see Highest to Lowest, and I know he is a standout in that film as well. And I really love like the empathy that he brings to If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, because you really do hate like all the characters. You don't like Rose Byrne's character. You sympathize with her, but you also like hate her at the same time because a lot of this, like some of this is kind of her doing. Like it's not all her doing, definitely, but she's definitely kind of like poking the wound. Like literally, she's poking at the wound. So it's very intriguing to see ASAP in such a different light compared to Rose's character and Conan's character too. And also Ivy Woke is also in this film, and she is like just like all the characters she's played, just like horrendous. You just want to like bash her against the wall. And Aesop is the only one that's kind of like speaking any truth and being like, you guys are crazy. What are you guys doing? Your daughter's sick. You're leaving her by herself. You really have no care in the world what happens. And you're just like numb. You're dissociating. What's going on? Get a grip. Get it together. And like, she really did need this like shaking. And I think him like, speaking up and not backing down is exactly what Rose Byrne's character needed. And I think ASAP just does a fantastic job in this film. And like, I'm looking forward to more of his acting career because I really do think he does a solid job in this one. I think Conan, I wish they kind of gave him like maybe a little bit more. I think it was interesting what they did with him. And Rose's character, he plays her therapist. She's also a therapist. They work in like the same office, and it's obvious that these like professional personal boundaries are crossing completely. And like, why is she even going to a therapist at the same office that she works at? Like what's going on? She just wants like the convenience. She just wants somebody to hear her. She just wants a yes man. She doesn't actually want work. She doesn't want to try and fix herself. She just wants people to validate that she's been put in a shitty situation. And yes, she has, but she's the adult in the situation, and unfortunately, she needs to just like, I don't know, get a grip and be a better example for her daughter. And I think there's also like an interesting dialogue about what's going on with her husband as well. Her husband is away on like an 8-week like work trip, leaving her all by herself with her sick child. And the child's not getting any better, is like refusing to get better because it's kind of like an eating issue. She's not gaining weight, she doesn't want to eat. Very, very interesting. Like, it's kind of like this, dealing with being a mother, but also a caretaker at the same time to a sick kid. Like, that's a completely different role than just being a mother. So, being left by herself, having to take care of this kid, and then like the roof caves in, they have to move into a motel and dealing with that, and her husband's like putting even more pressure on her to get the roof fixed, and she's not like putting in enough care to try and do all of, like, it's a very sticky line, and I think it's very such like a provocative film to bring this to light. And at the same time that Rose Byrne's character is the villain, she's also the victim, like, because like, why is her husband leaving her with the sick child, you know, especially when the roof caves in. And, he does come back, and it's kind of revealed that, she has been lacking on some of these necessary skills of like watching their kid and making sure their sick kid is, getting the protein and, the necessary medicine. And maybe the mother is being a bit self-destructive because she's been isolated. And I feel like this also does kind of play into like maybe like the yellow wallpaper and that like psychosis. And believe the director has said this is not to play into like postpartum depression. And I know it's focused more on like caregiver, but I think it definitely focuses on like the anxiety, the depression, the dissociative nature that mothers can be put into when they're put under this amount of stress, and then also still supposed to be working and have their own identity. And she's a therapist, so she's taking on all of these other people's emotions and baggage and trauma when she's dealing with her own. And like, I just think this film balances all of that really well. And the ending is just like, man, like crazy. And I think there's also a really unique visual language in the film too, with the daughter is never shown. We only hear her, and it's not until something that happens at the end that we get to learn a little bit more about the daughter, and maybe the mother ends up seeing her in that moment, and she hadn't seen her like this whole film. So I really do think this is a great film. I think the directing is done so superbly, and I think this is a very unique and poignant film. Even though, like, I did compare it to Night Bitch, I think this is so much different than Night Bitch. It really does dig deeper where Night Bitch didn't. I would have liked more surrealism with the hole in the wall. We kind of see Rose Byrne look up and see like falling into like this pit of like despair and dissociation and like otherworldness. Like, is she being transported to somewhere else? Is this her mind, her psyche? What's going on? So I would have liked to go a little bit deeper with the surrealism, but I still think this was such a solid film. And I don't know if anything but lead actress could get nominations just because this is like a smaller film. I feel like it hasn't really been promoted too much. And at the premiere at TIFF, it was only Rose Byrne who came. The director didn't show up, so it's obvious that Rose is trying to campaign, and I would give her the nomination, honestly. I think this is a great film, great performance. I think it's a very interesting story. I think it's also very poignant to today, 2025, for mothers and everything that's going on um, in the world, kind of with like conservatism coming back into the fold, and like the trad wife thing, and what's the role of a mother, and also like the healthcare system too. And that's like a big point in the film of the healthcare system's kind of really putting this on the family and saying, like, we can't give you these services if you can't, get your kid to meet these certain goals. And, that what type of situation that leaves parents in, they're not healthcare professionals. They have to take on this really daunting and scary task of their child and, have to tell them no and get into really heated arguments with them sometimes. And yeah, I think this is, yeah, a great film, really smart, really well written, very well directed, and Rose Byrne is a standout. So let me know what you guys think of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You in the comments below. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts if you guys have had the chance to see the film. If you guys haven't, let me know if you guys are excited for it, because I definitely think this was one of my favorites at the Toronto International Film Festival. Out of all 30 films I watched, I think this is one of my top films. Definitely think it's probably in my top 5. It was a really strong one. If you liked my review, please give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate all the interactions, all the comments. I try to read them. When you guys give me a like, really help to push me more into the algorithm, help me find like-minded people. And if you guys like this type of content, like movie reviews, pop culture, entertainment, give me a subscribe. I post multiple times a week. I'm trying to be more consistent with my posting. I have a ranking video for my top films at TIFF that's going to be coming out really soon. I'm also going to be updating my awards predictions at the beginning of October to have kind of like a post movie festival like roundup. So make sure you give me a subscribe and hit the post notification button so you don't miss out on any of those videos, because they will be coming in the next couple weeks. So thank you so much for watching the video and giving me all the interaction. I really do appreciate you guys being here and, just having this, cinema community out there. I'm grateful to be a part of it. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.